Victor Osimhen, because he's being linked with the move to Chelsea, right? Now, after the Samu Meridian deal has fallen apart, it seems like now their main focus is Victor Osimhen. And I'm just wondering, why wasn't this Chelsea's main focus to begin with? He's a much better player than Samu. Like, why did it take that deal falling apart for you to now put your focus onto Victor Osimhen? Right? Like, there's one glaring weakness in Chelsea's side, aside from the center back issues, and that's a striker, right? They got Nicholas Jackson up front, and he's not a bad player, right? Nicholas Jackson, overall, is a decent footballer. But the problem that he has is that this guy cannot put the ball into the back of the net to save his life on a consistent basis. He's very consistent. So they do need a striker that can put away the chances that they create, because Chelsea do create a lot of opportunities. And I think Victor Osimhen would be a good signing for them. Now, I think he is overrated, and I think his price tag is ridiculous, right? But they need him. Now, I think the reports were saying that Chelsea want him on a loan. And I think the loan would have to include an obligation to buy. But I think Napoli want the money this summer. So the negotiations are going to be tough, right? Because we all know, bro, Napoli, they don't sell players if they don't want to, bro. Like, they're like the mafia. They're a very hard team to negotiate with. And you don't usually just walk over them. So it is going to cost a lot of money for him to end up leaving that club. But I think Chelsea, at the moment, whatever they're cooking, I like it. You just signed Pedro Neto. Imagine if you add Victor Osimhen to an attack with him, Neto, Cole Palmer, and Kunku, right? You're going to have Enzo Caicedo, who's one of the best passers of the football in world football, right? Like, come on, bro. They create a lot of opportunities. And I think he would immediately make Chelsea a top 4 team. There would be no excuses for Chelsea to not be in the Champions League after next season if you go out there and sign Osimhen, right? You don't spend £1 billion on your squad to not be in Champions League and to not be winning trophies. But I just really struggle to see how this deal goes through. Because again, let's say if they have to just outright buy him, Chelsea would have to, again, maybe break a Premier League transfer for a signing, right? They already broke it with Enzo Fernandez. Then they broke Enzo's record with Caicedo's deal. Now you're telling me that Osimhen, if they can't get a loan deal, and if they buy him, it'll be right up there as well. Do you guys not think that Chelsea's transfer business is a little bit crazy? Like, how are they able to do this? We got teams like Liverpool who are out here not signing anybody, right? Arsenal only signing one player so far, right? Like, all these teams aren't really moving that crazy in the market. And then you got Chelsea signing a player every 2 days. But finally, it looks like they're scouting the right profile in terms of a pure number 9. Osimhen is the guy that they need. And I think he fits right in to the Premier League style of play anyways, right? The Premier League is pace and power. That's what Osimhen offers you. He's also good in the air. Now, I know that he didn't have a good season with Napoli, right? He was dealing with some injuries. But I think he immediately upgrades their attack. And again, we saw last season, Chelsea created a lot of opportunities that were wasted because they didn't have anybody that could put the ball into the back of the net. And I think with Victor Osimhen there, they'll be able to do that. Because for me, Chelsea last season, to be honest, they should have won either the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup. In both those games at Wembley, they outplayed Liverpool in the FA Cup final. Sorry, in the Carabao Cup final. They outplayed them. But they couldn't put away their chances. Against Man City, they were cooking Man City in the FA Cup semifinals, but couldn't put away their chances. Right? Them not being able to finish their chances led to them, they didn't make top 5, right? And then I think Manchester United winning the FA Cup put them in the Conference League because they were originally in the Europa League spot. But they could have done so much better if they were just better in front of goal. But yeah, we'll see what happens with this deal. I mean, how do you guys like this? Victor Osimhen possibly joining Chelsea. I remember some reports a few weeks ago were saying that Chelsea and Napoli were talking about a potential swap deal, including some money, right? Napoli would get Lukaku. Victor Osimhen would end up going to Chelsea. And I think that'd have been a good deal as well, right? I think they got Lukaku training with like the under eights, right? Like they got Lukaku training with the kids. This guy is basically babysitting at training. Because I don't think he could use the team's facilities. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But I think it's going to be a very hard deal to get done. Now, if I had to put money on it, would I say they end up with Victor Osimhen? If I was a betting man, I'd probably say no, because it's just a really complicated deal, right? Like Chelsea want a loan, but Napoli want money now. And then on top of that, I'm pretty sure that Osimhen's wage demands are going to be crazy. But at the same time, I think Chelsea desperately need a striker. And if it's not Osimhen, then go out there and sign Ivan Toney. Why the hell is Ivan Toney still unsigned? Can somebody explain that to me? I think he'd be a better fit than what Osimhen would be. But yeah, enough of these wingers, right? Like wingers FC. Like that's what Chelsea are. Enough of these wingers. Like enough of these creators. No, you need guys who are going to go and bag you goals, right? Cole Palmer showed that he could do it last season. Is he going to be able to do it next season? Who knows, right? Maybe Cole Palmer was a one-season wonder. I think he's a good player, though. I think Cole Palmer will have another good season. But will he be in the Golden Boot race again? Who knows? So you got to get him some help, right? I know Nkunku's fit, so he's going to be able to bag you some goals as well. But you need your striker up front. The guy that's going to be getting a majority of the chances to be able to be a consistent threat in the box. And that's just not something that Nicholas Jackson is at the moment, even though his overall game is pretty decent. But yeah, what do you guys think about Victor Osimhen possibly going to Chelsea?